Good morning, friends that tune us. Welcome to another edition of the Jack program. It is 10:20 in the morning. Just to start with the information. Today, our special guest, Carla Cordova, will be with us. We remind you that you can already contact us at phone 86 54 83 25 to request your favorite music, and you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. We announce that our program will be special this day because we will talk about a very important country called the United States of America. The most relevant events will be mentioned in the following minutes. Good morning for everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be with you. Thank you very much to the Jack program for the invitation. Today, we will focus on the Thanksgiving Day. First, we will start with a brief history of the United States. We will continue with the history of the festivity, then how is this day celebrated by the Americans, and finally, how can we celebrate it? The history of the United States began with the settlement of indigenous people in the year 1775. A war was carried out between the 13 colonies and Brits when the colonies were upset over changes in British policies. On July 4, 1776, rebel leaders made the United States Declaration of Independence and started a new country. In 1787, they signed the Constitution, and in 1791, the Bill of Rights. George Washington, who had led the war, became the first president of the U.S. During the 19th century, the United States gained much more land in the West and began to become industrialized. In the early 20th century, the United States became a world power, fighting in World War I and World War II. Between the wars, there was an economic boom called the Roaring Twenties, when people became richer, and a buzz called the Great Depression, when most were poorer. After talking about a bit of history, we will continue with some of the main characteristics of the United States. The United States of America, commonly known as the United States, is a country composed of 50 states, a federal district, 5 major self-governing territories, and various possessions. The U.S. is the world's third largest country by total area, with a population of over 327 million people. The U.S. is the third most populous country. The capital is Washington, D.C., and the largest city by population is New York City. The extremely diverse geographic climates and with wildlife of the United States make it one of the world's 17 megadiverse countries. Well, now we continue with a very important holiday for the Americans, named as Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day has been an annual holiday in the United States since 1863. The event that Americans commonly call their first Thanksgiving was celebrated by the Pilgrims after their first harvest in the New World in October 1621. This feast lasted 3 days, and it was attended by 90 Native Americans and 53 Pilgrims. However, their first true Thanksgiving was in 1623, when they gave thanks for rain that ended a drought. These early Thanksgivings took the form of a special church service rather than a feast. In the second half of the 16th century, Thanksgivings after the harvest became more common and started to become annual events. However, they were celebrated on different days in different communities, and in some places there were more than one Thanksgiving each year. George Washington, the first president of the United States, proclaimed the first National Thanksgiving Day in 1789. Lincoln proclaimed a National Day of Thanksgiving and praise to our benefit Father who dwell in the heavens, to be celebrated on the last Thursdays in November. Under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the day was changed to the fourth Thursday in November, an innovation that endures to this day. Thanksgiving, also known as Black Friday, is a national holiday in the United States celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November. Thanksgiving Day is a day for people in the U.S. to give thanks for what they have. Families and friends get together for a meal, which traditionally includes a roast turkey, stuffing, potatoes, vegetables, cranberry, sauce, gravy, and pumpkin pie. In some cities and towns, there are parades during the Thanksgiving weekend. In most areas, these festivities also mark the opening of the Christmas shopping season. Finally, it's important to mention that the most government offices, business, schools, universities, colleges, and other organizations are closed on Thanksgiving Day. The first 5 people who call our station will earn a double ticket for Thanksgiving dinner that will be next on November 28, 2019, in which there will be many surprises. Thank you for accompanying us. This has been all for today, and don't forget to tune the program next week.